welcome to Cooking at Casey's. Today we're changing up our scenery a little bit and cooking outside because it's a beautiful day. Today we're going to prepare some light and summery menu items for you to have at home for an easy dinner or for a backyard barbecue. I'm Kat Chamichello, a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'll be cooking with you today. Let's get started. We are going to start with a berry vinaigrette. Berries are great. They pop out in the summer months and they're full of fiber, full of antioxidants, which are great for our heart health and for our brains. So with this recipe, the beautiful part about it is that you can use any berry that you have on hand, fresh or frozen, or perhaps something that you picked from a farm down the road. Strawberries for Steamboat Springs were very important, and in fact the Native Americans used them to sustain their diet throughout the winter months. So today we are going to use some blackberries, some blueberries, and raspberries, and we're going to top off our salad today with some strawberries. So we're going to use 1 cup of berries. Again, any mixture that you want is perfect, and we're going to throw them into our blender. You can use a blender or a food processor at home, whatever works for you. Of course, the darker the berries you use, you'll get a darker colored dressing. If you want to have a lighter colored dressing, you could try some raspberries, maybe some golden berries from the store. So I have about 1 cup of berries inside my my blender. And then I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. You could use fresh squeezed at home. I have a little bit of Dijon mustard, about 1 tablespoon. And here you can use, I'm using a red wine vinaigrette. This is about 1/4 cup. You can use red wine vinaigrette. You could use balsamic. Both of those are going to give it a darker color. You could also use a white balsamic or a white wine vinegar. Anything will do, whatever you have on hand. So we're going to put about 1/4 cup in there. I have some honey in here, but you could also use agave. You could use coconut oil if you preferred. I'm going about 1/4 cup again. I can always add more if I need to. Here I have an avocado oil. So avocado oils are really preferential for salads or salad dressings because they don't have a very strong flavor and they're full of nutrition. You could also use a canola oil. You could use an olive oil. Again, whatever you have on hand. That's what's beautiful about this recipe. Okay, so I've got everything in my blender. We're gonna close it up. And when I'm making a salad dressing, I like to start at a very low speed and then bring up the speed to really emulsify all the ingredients together. So I'm gonna put this down pretty low. And once I see it really mixing together, I'm gonna take up the speed. And once you see it really start to blend together well, you can increase your speed. Looks really well blended. The next thing I'm gonna do, and this is an optional step, is I'm just gonna add just a touch of salt in there. Put our lid back on and just give it a little bit of stir. It's a beautiful color. I cannot wait to see it on the salad. So you can use any kind of apparatus at home to pour this. You could pour it right out of your blender, but if you want to get fancy, you could use a mason jar. I have this really fun kind of juice or water jug. And I'm going to pour everything in there just so we can show off the beautiful color. It's very smooth, you can see. If you wanted this to be a little bit thinner, you could adjust the vinegar or the oil in it. I kind of like it a little bit thicker and emulsified. Okay, so we've got our beautiful dressing there. I'm going to pull out a salad. Again, this is such a great recipe because you can use anything that you have on hand at home. So I did some mixed greens. I've got some red onion, some cucumber in there. I think since it's a berry salad, we'll top it off with some strawberries, fresh cut. Beautiful. If I had some salmon, I could put that on there, some chicken, some steak. I've got some mozzarella cheese that I'll sprinkle on. And for a little bit of protein on my salad, since I don't have a meat, I've got a sunflower seed and pepita mixture here. It also has some black sesame seeds. So I'm getting some omega-3 fatty acids, some monounsaturated fats and protein on there. And then the moment we've been waiting for, our beautiful new salad dressing that will drizzle right on top. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And there we have our summer berry vinaigrette. All right, so the second recipe we're going to work on today is a melon gazpacho. A gazpacho is a cold soup, very popular in European countries, but making its way into America and into your home, hopefully. So melon gazpachos can be made with any type of melon. We're going to do it with a cantaloupe today. When you're picking melons at the store, you want to find one that is heavy for its size. You can also do a sniff test. Might not be safe in these current times, but if you smell it, you want to be able to smell that rich, sugary melon flavor. This one is perfect. So, today we'll be doing a cantaloupe gazpacho. When I said that making a salad dressing was easy, this is just as simple, which is wonderful. I pre-cut my cantaloupe last night and I stuck it in the freezer for a really nice chilled soup. So we're gonna go ahead and scoop some of this into, I'm gonna use a whole cantaloupe for this. And then I'm going to add some cucumber, which I've peeled and seeded. This is one whole cucumber, so I'll throw that into my blender. Again, you could use a food processor or a blender, whatever you have at home. The next thing I'm gonna add is some red onions, about a tablespoon or maybe a tablespoon and a half if you like a little bit peppery flavor. You could also use shallots at home if that's what you have on hand. So I put about a tablespoon in there. The next ingredient is going to be, it could be a sherry, again, a white balsamic, some sort of vinegar that you want to pour in there. This is a 1/4 cup, so we'll drizzle that in there. The next item is some fresh herbs. I'm using mint and basil from our resident garden. You could use dried if you had that at home. It doesn't have to be fresh. This is 2 tablespoons. Then, for a little bit of kick, I'm adding some grated ginger in here. Ginger is a wonderful ingredient. It's got a lot of anti-inflammatory properties to it, so we really love to throw that into our dishes. And if you like to add some Greek yogurt, you can throw that in. That will give it a little bit of a creamier texture. I'm gonna throw that in there. It also adds some protein and some calcium, which is always wonderful. I'm starting with about 2 ounces. You could do 2 to 4, depending on how thick you would like it to be. So I'm gonna top that off, bring my blender over. Again, as with most things, you wanna start slow and increase the speed as things start to get incorporated. So I'm going to a low setting. So this looks like I don't have quite enough liquid, which is okay. I can just add a little bit of water to it. So I'll just drizzle a little bit in, see if we can get that blending. There we go. If ever you think that it's getting too thin or too watery, you can always add more cantaloupe or melon. I'm going to increase the speed, make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm going to take the speed down. I'm going to drizzle just a touch of olive oil in there. Get that going again. All right, and we are ready to serve this up. Now, if you're taking to a party, you're already gonna wow them with your cold soup. But if you wanna take it one more notch, you can stick your glasses in the freezer and serve them nice and frosted. You can serve this in a bowl or in a cup, however you prefer. This hot summer day has already melted some of the frost on my glass, but nevertheless, we have a beautiful cold soup. Cantaloupe and melons in general are wonderful for summer months because they're very hydrating and delicious. Cheers. All right, this is our herb garden planted by one of the residents of Casey's Pond. The executive chef here tries to incorporate these herbs as much as possible into our cooking. Right now we're using the mint that we have here in our watermelon salad, and last week we did a herb infused lemonade that was a big hit. So today what we used was mint and basil in our cooking. So I'm going to talk about how to clip those if you have them at home. And this generally applies to most herbs, but I am specifically referencing just mint and basil today. So after you plant them at home, the best way to tell that they're ready for clipping is that you have multiple branches of leaves on here. So on this particular stalk, I have 6 different branches. Once there's 3 to 4 branches, it's time for you to clip them, and that will promote more growth and prevent them from going to seed. You want to leave at least two different stems of leaves. So if we look at this one real closely, if I clip just here, I have 1 and 2 sets of leaves growing. The same is true of basil. This basil is really just blooming. I've been clipping it every week, and it is just blossoming up, so that's wonderful. This particular stalk here, you can see, has many different shoots of leaves. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so plenty. Again, 2 to 4 you want to leave on there and clip just above that, and it will promote more growth, and you have fresh herbs to eat.